There's been a conversation about Megan Thee Stallion possibly being in her flop era. She just put out a song whenever, and she did a live stream that fans speculated that she was emotional because of the reception to the song and that the song was not doing that many numbers. Now, there's been a conversation about Megan Thee Stallion being in her flop era for a minute. I mean, these are the same fans who are using she's been relying on sympathy and payola for a minute. Megan Thee Stallion is not in her flop era, but I think we are. Let's talk about it. Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on. What's going on, you all? I want to talk about the industry, Megan Thee Stallion, new artists, and streaming and what it has done to us. Because this conversation about Megan Thee Stallion being in her flop era is, it doesn't make any sense to me. I believe that streaming, as well as our connection to artists and celebrities, is ruining how we consume music. And you know what? It's kind of ruining on both sides, if we're being honest. So Megan Thee Stallion released her song Whenever, and over the weekend, people were kind of like, it sounds the same. It's the same conversation, same rap stuff, same flow, whatever. And Megan Thee Stallion did a live stream on Instagram for a short minute, and she did, to me, seem as though she was a little irritated about something. And she ended the live stream, and she said she'll come back because she didn't want the blogs to run with a specific story, which makes sense considering Meg's situation with the blogs and a lot of fans of a specific artist by the name of Nicki Minaj waiting and rooting for her downfall, to the point that they will make fun of Megan experiencing what she did with Tory Lanez. That's how bad the Stan Wars are right now. That's how bad things are. Like, it is horrible. And I honestly believe that streaming has rotten our brains and how we consume not just music, but media in general. So the song, to me, did not grow on me immediately. It was cute. I enjoyed it. But I'm still listening to her album, Megan, that came out the first part of the year from last year. Like, I'm still listening to that. I'm not interested in moving on to quote unquote act two. I want to sit with this album and enjoy it. And I'm noticing for a lot of artists, they're having to put out multiple projects in a 2-year span. And we used to not get this much music like that. Maybe we'll get a deluxe edition later on. But artists are having to do a lot to remain relevant right now. And that even can be said about Beyonce, who is currently on tour right now, who just had a tour 2 years ago in 2023 and is doing new things on this tour that we've not seen her do. She's flying around the stadium in a car and a horseshoe, and it gives quote unquote viral moment. There's even another possible mute challenge being added to this tour, considering the last clips we've seen from the third date in LA. Now, artists are having to compete for attention. There's so many artists. They're not just dealing with artists who are making the same amount of music, signed to their same labels or other big labels as them, but they're also competing with folks on social media who do not have a label backing them, but can put out a cute song and people can call it a hit next week. They're also having to compete with people who have access to the same platforms they do. Social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. They can use these platforms to put out a single without a label. With that being said, you're seeing artists have to work a little harder. We even have Katy Perry, who is on tour right now, trying to rebrand herself after years of dealing with fans who have lost interest in her, not just because of the music, but her political interests. And you're seeing her have to clean that brand up and that image. And she's reportedly doing that at her own expense, where it's costing her more money than she's probably bringing in. Now, that's what's being speculated. Even Taylor Swift is having to get up there and shake a tail feather to get those fans interested in spending money and seeing her perform, especially after sister be going on back-to-back tours. I mean, if we want to be honest, a lot of these problems I feel like are coming from how we consume music. And I don't think it's specific to Megan Thee Stallion. I think, for example, how we're consuming Sinners right now, how Sinners has been out for what, 2-3 weeks now? It's been probably like 3 weeks at this point now. And how we are having conversations about it. We're dissecting it. We're seeing other people talk about it. And we have never in our whole civilization had this much access to this much media. It's never happened before. And I feel like our brain chemistry is changing. We've seen countless articles and studies about how social media affects our brain, how we get dopamine hits from getting a notification from Twitter or Instagram or even TikTok, how going viral even affects your brain chemistry. And even as a creator like myself, like I understand that. Like I understand what it's like to go viral and a lot of attention and eyes being on you. And it is something that I don't believe any of us are built for. You have to maintain it because this can be a drug. It can be very addicting. And we don't want to admit that for the most part, but think about how we interact, how people make jokes about when they're sitting down to eat food, they have to have a video playing. They have to have something to watch. They have to see something on TikTok to keep them focused while they eat. And with that being said, it is affecting how we consume music. And the artists and these labels know that at this point. Now we're seeing songs change from, it used to be 3-4 minutes to now 2 minutes because we have a very short attention span. And a song being 2 minutes long means more streaming because we're going to keep playing it. So we're having these artists have to balance their creativity and as well as I need to make money. And when you have creativity and capitalism meet, you're going to get mass produced things. As a content creator, I know I'm creating the best content when I'm taking a break and I have a time to decompress and see the world around me without any other thing taken away from that time. I took a week off last week a little bit, and it's hard being a content creator, especially working for yourself, taking a break like that, but it's necessary so I don't get caught up in mass producing content like that. And I feel like our artists have been doing that lately. I feel like artists have always been under the pressure of the labels and telling them to put out music even when they're not their best mentally. Even if it wasn't putting out an album every so often, they were going on tour, they were doing things, they were constantly making music. That is why I feel as though we lose so many artists and creatives to drugs, if we're being honest. And that's one of the things I had a conversation with a close friend some years ago, is that knowing this is how it works, I want to make sure that we hold each other accountable and we do not get caught up in this, because it's easy to get addicted to something, trying to create something that you can't pull from. Like, we joke about artists going through pain to create more hits and a better album, but that stuff can be a little bit dangerous, trying to pull from that when maybe you're not dealing with that. Maybe you're not. Maybe the stress that is coming from that is the pressure to create. I mean, we have Cardi B, who dropped Invasion of Privacy so many years ago, and we've not got another album since. We've gotten a couple of singles and things, to the point we know Cardi B is nervous about putting out another album because there is a massive audience that wants to see her fail. They do not want to see her do well. Now, we can break down the numbers, and some of those folks who want to see her fail, of course, are Nicki Minaj fans. And I feel like we cannot have this conversation without mentioning, specifically talking about Megan Thee Stallion and other female artists, how you have Nicki Minaj fan base. attacking every black female rapper who is not cool or close to Nicki Minaj. Even if they are, if they give the slightest that they are not cool with Nicki Minaj, they will bring up that they're artists. They will bring up that they're not doing the same numbers that Nicki Minaj is. 10 plus years, whatever, in the game. And it's so bad that it's even affecting Nicki Minaj. Like Nicki Minaj's last album, Pink Friday 2, was horrendous. The album wasn't even finished before the vinyls were even made, which tells you a lot. I mean, Nicki Minaj had to push this album back, I think twice, because she was behind. And sometimes artists do have to push back the dates for the release. Sometimes they want to tweak some stuff and they want to change things up. I mean, SZA even did it recently with her deluxe album. But I feel as though how we talk about streaming and what is relevant is affecting us all. Like, it is really watering down the artistry because you have so many people just putting things out to say they have gotten it done instead of taking time to create something. And let me say, this has always been happening. Like, we've seen the documentaries and the biopics of artists being told, hey, we gotta get in the studio, you gotta make some music, you gotta get to it. But now it's gotten worse. I don't think it's ever gotten better. I don't think the contracts have gotten better. These organizations, these corporations have been around for hundreds of years. They will find a way to survive. They found a way before streaming. They're going to find a way now. They're going to manipulate their way to be able to make money, to the point that now you have labels picking up TikTok artists. Like, if a TikTok artist is popping up and they're getting viral, the label is wanting to sign them immediately so they can own that music. They can now own that moment, and then they discard the artist because we've already got you. We've already caught on to that. Like, we got it. We don't need a solid body of work. We just need something for right now to make money. And I think that is something that even Lil Nas X is dealing with right now, where his first album to me is still amazing now, years later, listening to it. But now he is trying to do a new sound while the label clearly wants him to remain and create what he already did. They want that. And Lil Nas X is kind of struggling right now to get that same attention. And it doesn't mean that the music isn't good. But Lil Nas X has even talked about how difficult a process it is create another album. Like, it's on his mind. He might joke about it a little bit, but it's on his mind because so many people are waiting for him to flop. And they don't even have to be Nicki Minaj fans, period. It can just be us watching entertainment, like us consuming people talking about these things. Like, oh, the album's about to flop. Like, you see these people get these numbers and start talking about how bad of an artist they are because of it. You have Coco Jones, who put out a good body of work from what everyone is saying. I haven't listened to it, but so many people that I trust have said it's a good album. And now you have people saying, oh, well, the numbers are not that good, so it's a flop. And it's, hey, there are people who do not have albums out right now who are making good music. There are artists who are painting some of the best pictures I've ever seen who are not in the stores right now. This idea that you have to get all of these numbers to be a good artist is the reason why we're getting scraps right now. It's the reason why we're getting manufactured hits and they all sound the same. That is what's happening right now because the label is recognizing that. For me, I don't care if the song does not go number one. I don't care if it's the number one album. Is the album good? Let's focus on the body of work being good. This idea that Megan Thee Stallion sounds the same and her flow is the same makes absolutely no sense, because if you listen to a lot of your faves right now, male rappers and female rappers, all of them, if you take a certain part of the song, all of them have a distinct way they speak and rap. All of them do it. I was sent an audio and people were sharing it on social media of Megan Thee Stallion. I can't play it for copyright, but it was Megan Thee Stallion's like 7 songs and it was supposed to be her same flow. And I'm like, Megan Thee Stallion has definitely talked about different things in her albums. Like she's talked about a lot of stuff. I mean, Cobra was different and it was amazing to me. With that being said, my bias is, yes, I enjoy Megan Thee Stallion, but I am not a stan of Megan Thee Stallion like that. I went to go see her last year when she was on tour, but I am not one who's listened to the last album she put out in October because I'm still listening to the first one. Like, I am not going to be pushed to listen to albums back to back like that. Give you an example. Aphrodisiac by Brandy is one of my favorite albums. I still listen to it. Ha, ha, ha. Like, I'm going to, like, Brandy put out their album, and I don't think it did that many numbers, word to Cardi B, but the album was good, and people reference it now. I mean, even Destin Conrad did an interview, and he talked about how he enjoys Brandy. Like, Brandy is his go-to, and he's learned a lot from her.
No, I literally, like, Brandy's, like, my queen.
Tell me why.
She's...
Like, why?
I mean, you can ask any...
Yes.
If there's any R&B musician that is not familiar with Brandy, I don't think
they're an R&B musician.
Yeah,
like,
you can't
claim it.
You don't. She doesn't have to be your favorite, but like you have to be able to like acknowledge
her greatness.
Granted, so like Brandy is not doing #1 a million streams like that. She's not. Doesn't mean that she's not making good body of work. Like that doesn't mean, and we have to remove ourselves from that because it is hard to get people to stream like that now. When you have so many other people, I mean, even Nicki Minaj was struggling trying to make sure that she did better than Cardi B's album Invasion of Privacy. Like the Barbs were sick to their stomach at the possibility of this album, Pink Friday 2, being lower than Invasion of Privacy. And it ended up not being a good body of work. But people streamed it and they played it. But not too many people, as far as the general public, are playing it. They're not playing it. Again, the way we consume music, going back to what I said about Sinners, I would not be surprised by, and me and my close friend talked about this, by this fall, people will be bored with Sinners. And that's not to say it's not a good film and it's not brilliant and Ryan Coogler and everybody else over there are not good. It's just the way we consume music and media in general has us not fully enjoying it. I'll give you an example how Fantasia won American Idol back in 2004. I graduated high school in 2005, and Fantasia put out her album later that year in 2004. I was walking to one of Fantasia's songs, I believe, for graduation in 2005. Her album had came out that fall. By the time that summer came around, we were still listening to singles off of that album. Like the singles were still like, it wasn't even one that went mega big, but it was like we were consuming it. It meant something. And I don't want to be the old man on the porch and saying back in my day, because things are always going to be changing. But I feel like how we describe what a flop is. Megan, by any means, is not flopping right now. She just performed at Coachella recently. She just was at the Met Gala. She may not have had the best outfit on. Like, I wasn't feeling the gown, but it was cute. It was cute. But I feel like she could have went a little bit harder. But she's definitely there. She's present. She just had a tour that did amazing last year. Like, what is flopping? Going on hiatus? Like, I'm confused. Like, Megan is an A-list artist. Like, she is up there. She's an A-list celebrity. And I feel like you have so many people who want to see her fail because of their allegiance to their favorite artist, and people who are now attaching themselves to another group because of the situation with Tory Lanez are keeping this conversation going. The way we are treating Megan Thee Stallion and then be confused of why people like Tina Turner did not want to be in the US. Her going through all of that, what she went through with Ike Turner, and people making fun of her, mocking her abuse. That stuff is still here. People mock Megan Thee Stallion being shot. Like, people make fun of that. For what? What do they gain out of that? Like, it's not even funny. Like, people are making jokes about that. To the point that they're attaching themselves to an artist that they were not even featuring several years ago. Like, none of these folks were interested in Tory Lanez like that. And they're not interested in Tory Lanez like that because he's put out some music and nobody's listening to it. Same thing with DaBaby. Nobody's interested in his new music like that. Like, nobody's interested in that. And I feel like, last but not least, the misogyny of it all. I mean, I've talked about it, but Megan Thee Stallion is a black woman that is dealing with not only misogyny in the industry, but misogyny with the audiences. The way so many people are letting the misogyny jump out to critique Megan, to say she's saying the same thing. We tired of hearing Pete rap. We are regressing. Now, y'all was talking about Harris. Are we going back? It seems like not only the Trump administration rolling stuff back, but we rolling stuff back as well. Matter of fact, a lot of us are helping the administration that's in charge right now roll stuff back. Because all these male rappers have been talking about the same thing for the last 30 years. I remember in my strong anti-black phase with men saying that, like, they all talk about the same thing. I mean, white folks was saying that. Oh, y'all talk about his chains and all that and drinking. They still, Future is almost, what, 40, 50 years old rapping about stuff that 20-year-olds do? Like, no conversation about Future is being had like that. A lot of folks are not saying that. Like, these other artists are talking about, like, bro, you married with 2 whole kids and 2-3 baby mama. What is you talking about, bro? Megan Thee Stallion ain't even 30 yet. Like, like, let's be honest. A lot of the critiques is coming because of that. Because of that. Because you all will say this. The pop girl is talking about the same thing too. And the reasons why we believe that it's the same thing over and over is because the way we're consuming it. And also, several drops of misogyny. Like, you don't want to hear it, period. You have been tolerating it. We have been tolerating it without really changing how we interact with these things. Now it's like, ugh, girl, we tired. You're saying the same thing that men were saying when WAP came out. The same conservatives that were in front of the cameras and saying that this is disgusting, we should be doing it. We're doing that same stuff. Oh, girl, we're tired of hearing about you. We tired of hearing about that. I think you all do not like Megan's voice, and you all have a deep hatred for the South. That's another conversation. Even an influencer right now / artist talking about the Southern girls don't know how to dress and the girls up North taught them how to dress. Like, this deep hatred of the South is rooted in anti-blackness, if we're being honest. Y'all associate the South with not just slavery, but blackness. And how you hear a specific accent makes you believe that people are dumb. Like, there's a lot of classism, a lot of elitism happening right now in this conversation. And people want to, oh, it's just, she rap about the same thing. No, girl, it's a lot more things that are going on. And you also have folks breaking down these things with no legitimate critiques, no legitimate breakdowns or analysis supporting these things. They're just saying it. Oh, I think Megan Thee Stallion is flopping. Hit tweet. People don't even want to, hey, how is she flopping? Explain that. Megan flopping because they know it's going to get them viral, which gives them a dopamine hit. Because as my fave on TikTok, Ryan said, that made so much sense, that it is easy to cater towards an audience of bigots because you don't have to question anything. You just have to perform the bigotry. That's good enough. It's not about disagreeing and all that. It's about supporting what I believe, because I'm just that angry and upset that this will fuel me. And it's a lot of the content that we're seeing right now, because it is easy to say these things without providing any information or any analysis of why it is, because you don't have to, and your audience is not going to demand that you do. And it's not about actually having a conversation. It's about feeding an audience and feeding a lot of these folks' ego. So Megan Thee Stallion is not flopping. She's doing fine. I feel as though we are flopping, and we got to be honest about that and how we consume media, music in general. That's my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll talk y'all later. Bye.